Suki chonam la janju badu dagni gapsuchi dagi cheni kipe sonam ki chodam sangi sangi dupanso chodam suki chonam la janju badu dagni gapsuchi dagi cheni kipe sonam ki chodam sangi dupanso chodam suki chonam la janju badu dagni gapsuchi dagi cheni kipe sonam ki chodam Sange Duhasho
Tayata Gade Gade
Tara Gade Sumgyate Bodhi Saha
Tayata Gade
Gade Tara Sumgyate Bodhi Saha
Tayata
Gade Tara Sumgyate Bodhi Saha
Oh, la so da kan ja sim ja tham je ga to top ja la na ma che wa san je ko ma ro bo je chin ne to ba cha de che de ne jang jo se ba lab ja na chu che de ka chu la na wa la xin ko le xin ba le to ba le to je shu ma no wa ji ko de an ka su ba lam de ge shu ne ge sam sam che.
Let us set our motivation to do whatever we possibly can to attain the purest state of enlightenment, knowing that in order to attain such a state, I must perfect all the trainings on the Bodhisattva path. And to perfect those trainings in turn, I must gain a thorough understanding of what they are about, and I must gain this understanding based on a non-mistaken presentation. And so it is with this in mind that I come here this morning to listen to a talk from the Graduated Path series of teachings.
Doing the trouble at dinner, and tell you trouble at the young Jawdo Chan Juan and Chelajo Lamasana. Ye you need a trouble and jump giant, jump the Chambeyan, ye you need to jump the Chambeyan. Set up and the that because Tagoto and Casato Takaja, Tajin Jujuta, Samotaju Lamana to call you some such and the Sham the Katami, Subaban Lagriman Cuba, the Sham the Jungle Mazonga Cuba. And they doing a research about the language of the Marchetta with the Laman Qualishuba. And they shall not do the she. Because of Lame, nature, nature, and then I guess on such a tone. And don't I shall have some Soba Soba. The Hanisha Meladesha Gala Soba to get set up. The Shamdela and because of the University in Gala and the University in Gala Sobe, just a public soccer. Then I ran near to Power Country Church of so much.
So next, as normally, we set up the merit field in the space in front of us, at the center of which is the central figure, the one who is greatly compassionate and omniscient in the form of Shakyamuni Buddha. And from the Buddha's heart center, light rays emanate to the left and right, behind and in front, establishing all of the other different members of the merit field, beginning with the lineage of the consecrated practices behind, headed by Vajradhara, and then to the left and right, headed by Manjushri and Maitreya, the lineages of the profound view and the extensive practices respectively, and then below them on both sides, the different schools of the Kadampa lineages, the textual school, the instructional school, and the Lam Rim or Graduated Path school, and then below them again on both sides, the lineage lamas of the Geluk tradition, at the center of which is Lama Tsongkhapa. Then with the light rays heading towards the front are established all of our own teachers, at the center of which is our own root guru. And surrounding them and around them are the four classes of the Tantric tradition, with the representative deities of each class of the Anuttara Yoga Tantric lineages, the Yoga Tantric lineage, the Acharya and the Kriya Tantric lineages. And then the groupings of the different Buddhas, like the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate eon, 35 Buddhas of confession, the 8 medicine Buddhas, and so on. And then from there, the Arya Bodhisattvas, including the 8 close disciples of the Buddha, the hearers, the solitary realizers, Arhats, and then the heroes and the Dakinis and Dharma protectors, etc. So that Finally, we have all the members of the merit field present without exception.
This mixing nenga yusa ta de chon wa de cha ta de ne ndo ta de ge kanga number min ta wa ta on do la an la ma tuwa do cha yin ba che do la number tuwa do cha yin ba ta sim jeng ge kham da me ba na so ba jin ba yin za an de la de na kan da kan du ge na ba na so ba ste yina ya an ngo de an la ge ta ta ka so de ta o so ta de be ta bo la ma tuwa do cha che la ma tuwa do cha yin bo de ku ba she wo de cha.
And so this process of the entire merit field and all the members of the merit field, as it were, emanating from the essential figure of the one who is skillful in means, greatly compassionate, Lord Buddha, is a very key point, a very essential point, as the Buddha being the one, the Lord of the teachings, and the one then who is able from there that it's understood that all of the members of the merit field are different aspects of Guru Munindra Vajradhara, the central figure. That so in nature they are the same as that Guru Munindra Vajradhara. In aspects they are all different in order to meet the different needs of sentient beings, and so that is a very important point to understand.
야 점자 점어전 셰딩we 자미 릭지게 자나노게 자미 릭지게 안 코란도 코닝스 말에 그죠 와들 대바시 우치도 안 릭지 상계 좀 된다 시다 메스 이나 코닝 유스 데르릭자 안 딱가서 산제가 좀 마시면 따라와 내 점어전 상계 좀 되면 코닝 그래서 요구를 했어.
Again, as yes, he finds it very amusing sometimes the way in some kind of sects or groupings in the Chinese tradition they hold Kuan Yin to be preeminent, the one who's most important, and they pay little attention to the Buddha. And so I make that a sort of joke that, you know, it shows their lack of understanding of the Buddha Dharma, because without Buddha you can't have a Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is just another aspect of the Buddha, you know, an emanation of.
Yeah, but kasade pena Kuan de taratsi inane ane sanje jomden dege sta tabja tujemda sanje jomden dege ane kasada tilek number barwa kusung tu tile ane jenesik tagi inane ane sanje jomden dege tu harchawachi chagirwa ane sanje mena chagirwa.
And so it's just the same process as when we talk about the Buddha Tara. The Tara is an emanation of the Buddha's skillful means aspect. So where you have, you know, those who are representative of the Buddha's body, speech, and mind, and this is the Buddha's skillful means emanating as an enlightened energy in the form of Tara. Just as Chen Rezig is the compassionate aspect of the Buddha. So they're all aspects of the Buddha in actual nature of the Buddha. Just these different aspects. That's all.
What did it say? What did it say? What did it say? What did it say? Any telata yala to maintain a chair. Takaja rangi kasota. Social set that the talk things like the rang of sa Tibetang to talking skurwa. Talking skurwa. What did it?
And so then, as normal, we make focusing on the merit field, we offer the 7-limbed practice plus mandala. And this is, again, reminding ourselves that this is the merit field. The very name, the appellation of merit field, is in order for us to be able to accumulate merit. And the means by which we can do this is facilitated through the 7-limb practice and the offering of mandala.
다 이제 다 지당 거저 다 라브림 고모도 소신 세다 거다 다 라브림 먹으면 소신 세다 맞죠 되네 말이 다 소신 가와이나 소소 뒤주 동바이나 아니 뒤를 동바샤제도 봐 세다 엔테 두가는 왜 세트잖아 어떤잖아 세다 아니 소사팀 장전 다 가자 소소 저기 돈다 때문에 제만 보여 봐 돈다 때문에 뭐 제만 배도 som좀 배도 소소 뒤주에나 지금 가서도 배나 두두 세멘트에 되들 치 난 도스콤 치워미다 봐 도스콤 어디서 아니 내가 소신 세다 네 아니 란다 다른 거 마게 심제단자 학도도 답변은 대 두두 디나로 다 풍부 배도 심제 그세라 대다 좀 타이버 마게 심제 탐전념도 유어 삼사체 아니 소신 세다 아니 토마만 디바도 자래 아니 순대체 어디서 아니 뒤지 밥장체 되게 제바이나 다 남는 딜라가 거래 어떻게 들라 가서다 친구부 통계 가야 보면 삼로그 통계 사나 다가란 게 아니 검도 잡 어디서는 치와미다 보면 게 약수 어다 미시로 지금 되다 나사 강내전 다 타레 매겐 잡아 되다 타에라와 매게 잡아 두저 되다 치네 이 가서다 다다데 민장도 로네 가시 딱게네 로정을 정사 가시 미슈로 정사 가시로 든주대도 계주대도 다 나서서도 가시로 충분히 정도 아닌지 다 되게 갈 때전 다 루주소로 따오서 말이잖아 되게 코라도 마시베 관한 가라는 이제 소보자는 예류 나 세계 전부 쓰는 대대가 있다 다들 아니 소소야 되듯이 뒤 남의 연결이 다 영원 다 쳐버려 그도 연결해 썼다 말지마도 영원 다 쳐버려 써서 다들 마용 관하다 네 돈다 때 맞지 삼사전에 어느 초신도서 검지기는 빼야 보여 봐
So this, to become familiar with the generation of the merit field and being able to use the merit field in order to engage in these practices of accumulation of merit on the one hand and the purification of negativity on the other is something that is not confined to when we're meditating on the graduated path. Of course, one can generate the merit field at any time, and indeed, we should get into the practice of using it when we have some free time, where we can bring that up and engage in all of these practices. This is in order to really kind of make all of our time as meaningful as we possibly can. And so, for example, if we're in a cemetery, for example, there, and meditating on impermanence, we can generate the merit field and have all the Buddhists there and have ourselves surrounded by all kind mother sentient beings and engage in practices of accumulation, purifying of negativity and the accumulation of merit through the whether the prostrations and offerings and the rejoicing and supplications and so on inherent in the seven-limb practice, and that and have a look around at all of the different headstones where you can see really impermanence in action, really, in looking at how when people have died, how long they have lived, and some perhaps for quite some time, but others only for maybe 10, 15, 20 years, and to really bring it home to oneself that this body that I am so attached to and that I cherish so much will one day end up here. It's no doubt, there's no question about it. It's just a question of when. And so therefore, what am I prepared to do from now until that time, which I don't know, is going to make my life more meaningful, and to really try to engage in that sort of thinking, that sort of mindset, in order to make the very most of the time we have left. And that in that context, the generation of the merit field and the employing of the merit field in order to purify and to accumulate, purify negativity and accumulate merit is a very good method.
what did the and so set up or did the and then so and to gene and gender and that and to come and to come back on any day and to and the cause of the to on the and that cause randa market some tante debate Panadula Nanoke, so by the Kayoma, Rangi Digit diet, and to switch Jawla, then Javal, then Deda to you, the auto, the return by the don't use she gives substance. And trupe the Ranzo, Taiba Maga, some Tanja Yamdo Tripu or some such. And then a Trushon de Dana and Wova drew part in the Yotigan. And then a Wova drew Nata, Conazolo Kula, Swashina Kula, True Sabati, and Trusu Sabati, and a Wova drew Nepata, Trusu to the Marchin. And that because of the Dory took Ritul Pa Chin. And that Dory took a still never Dory took a subject at that time, Lunga, Yusum Sabat Tiba the Tiba. I don't know, I have net like it, doing your leg. The data, but chance of some such, never chance some such. She was chance of some such. What is it? And net to get the data, and it can't tell. Kansa the data, Lunga is a Tiba the Tiba can't tell. And what the ten and then Joe Ludu Tobia. Tabachim Kivishi in the Chiva, that the Caso the Tachi, New Chavas Tensu, what did the summer time Tevayina? And that should do that.
And so again, the generation of the merit field offers us the opportunity to generate the kind of duty more fully when we have that time to generate the offering of a bath to all the members of the merit field, the enlightened beings, and so we create this really outstanding quality bathhouse with the awnings and the carvings and the bejeweled pillars and so on, and the beautiful marble steps, etc., and offering the clothing and so on. And we, in the actual bathing area, offering that bath to the all the members of the merit field, and that they are, from their point of view, they don't need this. Of course, this is all for us to be able to really purify our negativities and accumulate merit and so on. So we envisage that we are accompanied by all sentient beings in the process of offering this bath. The members of the merit field are delighted by this. They experience a bliss which moves into emptiness, and they abide in the non-dual wisdom of bliss and voidness. And that we can visualize that all the water that is used exits through 6 different openings at the bottom of the bath area itself, and that this water flows into the 6 realms of existence, where it purifies all the negativities of body, speech, and mind of all the residents of those 6 realms of existence, such that they are completely purified of all those negativities, that the place itself is purified of its faults, and that these beings can attain a precious human rebirth, meet with a qualified Mahayana spiritual teacher, etc. And so using, again, the merit field as extensively as we possibly can to engage in meritorious activities like this.
What did it? Kaja, the Lamrim come to talk to do with the summer dog, much out of the Kapa in a Pejutan Shimachan. But that so, and it said the Duanya Chicken, and it let Tambo a chicken, and Tandania, Sanjay, 10 chicken, the Sanjay Sabbath to Katichiku. Inaya, the ne, and it lecture lands, Kotu in it, and Pejutan to Machin, Pejutan to Machin, what did it say? And how to do, but I was a motor town to the cover. Chije Kala take us of the Mangotua, to church out of the Mangotua, the cemetery, Takaja, to do Mangotua, Langal Tudua. What did to do Namek member Lang, Swalla Machin, she won't be there with Swalla Machin. And that there is some jet seller, Deva, Jenny, you were so you were, and that subject said that constituent that comes to order to Kawakina, reduce to well and new to Tada. And it's a Tabachi Sanjay Koma to us, you are sure, suddenly, or money payment, 6 Stramina, Papa Cheddar, what is Javana? Yama Drojole, Gavasai Mamutwa. That Rotaka Tendege, Chita, issue down, issue that Hachita, the Dego Jotan Soracina, in a Tujuson, did it to the in a Naransugi, till attending another church to Vachana, and the people conscious about the Kochava. To a concert in the Sunta, concert in the social, Maranzo church with 2 years, Pejutan to Vaina, Java the Nijaki, Pejutan to Vaina, and figure you are the Pentos. Pentos, what are the little Pejutan Shibachana? Oh, that is Sugarisha, the Kajigarisha, the Rezam Shama Shava Chechen. They don't get into my against him, how I can have
So therefore, I exhort everybody here to, yes, of course, when we're engaging in the meditations related to the graduated path, doing so by generating the merit field is very important. But to actually not leave it at that, but to use the generation of the merit field wherever possible and wherever we have time, and to see that from the point of view of being a beginner engaged in the process of wanting to move from there right away to enlightenment, and of course to rely on the teachings and the content of the graduated path, but also to augment that by using the merit field in order to engage in these essential processes of accumulation of merit and the purification of negativity is also very, very important. And I've noticed that when we're out in cars and traveling from A to B, you see a lot of cemeteries in the West. And so this is a very, very useful process, not to just pass by without a thought in the world, but to get some feeling, a feeling for what it's like in there, and what it teaches us about impermanence, and to meditate on the impermanence, and to understand that these are all, people who have lived in the past, who have passed this life, and that wherever they are now, any of the 6 realms of existence and so on, but that they may be purified of all the negativities that keep them there, and may they be able to be released, to attain a precious human rebirth, to meet with a qualified Mahayana teacher, to proceed along the paths and grounds to enlightenment themselves, and to make this kind of prayer, make this very earnest and heartfelt prayer, would accompany by, if you can, visualizing Chenrezig and reciting mantras of the malas of the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra. Now this would be very, very beautiful to be able to do, to turn any situation like that into a dharma, into a virtuous opportunity. And it makes, like the traditions of the Christian tradition and the Islamic tradition, who have cemeteries in this way, it makes them more meaningful as well, because that you have used that opportunity, and they have provided it in a way for us to be able to use that opportunity to increase our compassion, increase our love, and generate virtue. And so very, very useful to be able to do that from many different points of view.
What the social set on Yaladu Mendeta Chamapi, what did it say? And then that social de Yadunita, Minea Chile cheating with Minea Chujosuma and Chile cheating with Yatim, Tapaja, Language Lamana tip. And Jangut Lamazonga, but Chabi, you were the Chile cheating with Timia, Jam Giant the tip. And Jamajila, you were Lamatica Chile cheating with Yatim, Yao Chante, Lamangala mi. Young Yaladu Mendeta chair, pursued them chair, Gom Jap. And then Lamanga dear, and Yao Chante, my industry, and Lamatuan Chante. And Jam Giant the Lamatuan Chante. Rangatia Zawa Lama de Lamatuan Chameta, took a cotola, yes, was some what in the commercial. And then Lamatuan Chante, Sanja Tamjega Tani, do some the Sanja Tamjega water, Tani then, and so I put the day, the Jamaican Lamatuan Chan, so at water, so I put the day, what in the
And so therefore, really, it's again, I'm emphasizing how we should really become really skillful at making the most out of every situation in terms of transforming it into a Dharma activity. Here it requires us to be skillful with the knowledge we have, so that we're not simply, always anxious about making time for my Dharma practice. To get beyond that narrow-minded attitude and to understand that every opportunity is there, and we must see the opportunities. For example, if we're going to the city or anywhere else, you can see so many opportunities for being able to apply Dharma thinking and Dharma action. And so really it's a question of becoming really skillful and knowing how we can do that. That's very, very important for us. Now, returning to the merit field, we have again engaged in the process of the seven-limb practice and the offering of mandala. And then there's the dissolution of the merit field as well. So here we begin with the dakas, nakinis, towards the lower end of it. And they are dissolving into each subsequent upper level, into the arhats and the bodhisattvas and the buddhas, into all of the members of the gurus that we know, and into our own root guru. And then all of the groupings from the Geluk traditions on both sides, then the Kadampa traditions and so on, the extensive practices and the profound view is dissolving into finally the two main figures at the top of Maitreya and Manjushri, and the consecrated practices lineage dissolving into Vajradhara. And then Vajradhara coming down, dissolving into the central figure of Guru Maninja Vajradhara. And then Maitreya and Manjushri coming from the left and right, dissolving into the central figure. And then our own root guru finally rising up to the heart level and dissolving into the heart of Guru Maninja Vajradhara. And so we are left then with the single figure of Guru Maninja Vajradhara, who nonetheless is the embodiment of all Buddhas of the three times. And so again, we make a powerful supplication using the stake-like supplication prayer at this point.
And then da range chiwo pema de nima dawe de la and chenja padeza la ma tagi chiwo de kuso do ngudu sa su tambe paspe and so de ni be ka su be ka so de do chuna ta sanje ko ma to ko de chesu so ne ka ko.
Then we prepare a lotus sun and moon disc mandala seat on our own crown, and we invite the figure of Guru Maninja Vajradhara to come and sit there. And at the end of the first recitation of the invocation prayer, O glorious and precious Root Guru, come take a lotus moon seat placed here on my crown. Keep me safe in your kindness. Bestow on me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind. The Guru, the figure of Guru Maninja Vajradhara, begins the journey, a replica from the merit field. At the end of the second recitation, arrives, sits on our crown, and at the end of the third recitation, we have the certainty that the Guru Maninja Vajradhara will be there with us steadfast until we ourselves attain enlightenment, and that's something we rejoice over. That's wonderful.
다 니마다 다외 대해서도 대양 거저 다 단다도 거저 좀 되고 싶lab자 니마다 다외도 딜에 검자는 년중 검네 니가 저에 년중 검네다 코와데 동에를 하셨다네 아니 델에 타나 지마로 사자다 년중 깨받지네 아니 년중 깨네 아니 니가 저에 년중을 로디니 아니 배마지도 조소 삼사체 아니 되네 대야 다 가서도 다 조소서서 아니 되네 대대 년중 깨받지 나데 가와도 제바지는 많이 봤다가란 걸 셈샤네 오다 되네 대대게 아니 동니 예배니 삼로디 아니 니메 김고치는 조소 삼사자 다 대대게 유대는 마주와 이마인사 아니 대네 좋아해 대네 좋아해도 다 셈제 탐제거 더 두투에 여나 마주나 지금 말해 삼사 아니 그 두빈 삼삼체는 아니 장주가 셈 게나 셈제 탐제거 더 주바치기 삼사 주도 치마를 주바치 사서 왔던 데가 삼로게 된데가 로디니 로데 삼로 또 검네 삼로 로디니 아니 다외진 것처럼 주소 서도 왔다 가자 삼로다 되는 제들 니마다 다외진 것은 시부시부 좋았을까 이거 말봐 다 년중 장선 양다가 따와 왔다 년소 년조다 아니 양다가 따와다 장주 셈다 되게도 삼로 따네 그래다 사기에 고마토바 주 마사와 아니 데 삼로다 아니 디테도 다 소소 텐데제 베조 제나다 라베지라 다 라말라이지라 용구로 왔다 아니 때는 라말라 젠장이나 다 고주신 거 왔다 아니 때 디데도 데데를 니바 디데도 아니 다 젠장네 아니 빠지자가 라말로 다기 찍어 빼면 가려 후소도 좀 못 찾도 수도 대선들 제다 아니 담배 가서 배 니베 가서 수마가 때죠 산제 고마마도 제 수수스럽게 소화요가 소리지 제자로 왔다 빼마는 니만 다외다 다 참게 소리지는 초수요 말아
And so that, again, to be careful that the descriptions of within this practice of using the merit field, inviting Guru Maninja Vajradhara to sit on the crown where we set up a seat of a lotus, sun and moon disc mandala. So it is not something that is just done casual, like a throwaway sort of idea, just reciting it as words, but that we must try to put as much meaning into the symbolism as possible. Why? Because we have to allow this whole process to really touch us, to really kind of get some experiential feeling within our own minds. And that this is really a way in which to avail of the true blessing of the Guru that we are inviting to come to our own crown. And so therefore, to understand the symbolism or the meaning behind the symbolism of the lotus, sun and moon, for example, that it is through the contemplation of renunciation, of really having a notion as to the suffering of cyclic existence and the being able to extricate ourselves from that suffering of cyclic existence in order to attain liberation, that gives rise to this understanding of renunciation. And through contemplating that, then we allow the lotus to arise as the symbolism for renunciation. And that's when we say, I must attain liberation from cyclic existence. That I is really we have to examine what's behind that, and that where is that self, where is that I, where is that me that I'm referring to here, and that to get into the whole notion of the emptiness, there being an emptiness of such a self, of such a self-established sense of self, and that this is symbolized by the sun.
But the symbolization is loti, but Nyanjung Samota, Nyanjung Comchen, Nyanjung Combe Lot Tagara, and Caso de Pamachila Juso, Sansacha, and the Tony Combe Loti, and Caso de Nimaking Gola Juso, Sansacha. Janjuk Sem Combe Lot Tagara, Loti, and Cas Directing Gola Juso, Sansacha. And
so it's true. So it's actually directly from the meditation on renunciation that gives rise to the lotus on our crown. Through again the meditation on this emptiness of really recognizing the lack of any inherent existent self, it gives rise to the sun on top of the lotus. And then following that through understanding that phenomena do not exist independently, but rather arise as interdependent entities. We recognize that it's not just myself that I'm seeking any kind of liberation for, but that all other sentient beings we are interdependently connected. And so therefore I need to attain the state of enlightenment in order to benefit all those sentient beings, and this thinking gives rise to the moon disk, which symbolizes bodhicitta. And so this thinking then gives rise to the sun, the lotus, sun and moon disk mandala seat, and it's only then that we invite Guru Maninja Vajradhara to come and sit there. And it's through this process of really reflecting on the three principal paths of renunciation, correct bodhicitta and correct view, that then we can really gain the blessing, as it were, of the Guru when the Guru Maninja Vajradhara arrives on our crown, and that this makes the whole process of the visualization and so on extremely meaningful. So it's very, very important that we somehow kind of really invest ourselves in the process of what we're visualizing like this, in order to really get a feeling for what's happening here. It's not just a throwaway practice that we're trying to get through, but rather something that is really, really important. And so when we make the invocation verse, then at that point, oh glorious and precious root Guru, come take your lotus, sun and moon placed around my head, keep me safe in your kindness, bestow on me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind. It has a great deal more import and importance to it. So therefore, we can really hope to feel that blessing coming through.
What did it compassion? And there, when I call a Joe Samsa, Tamu was pet, Nibago shoe, Sumago, dead shooter, that Sunday, your command, Madoga Badota, Jesus so, Kawakon. That when I digi got the time, you might didn't choose some of that. When I digi, when I got the time, you might didn't choose some such a Kawakon.
And again, through the invocation verse being recited the first time, beginning that journey, the second time arriving, and the third time remaining steadfast until we attain the state of enlightenment, and have the notion that the Guru is really, really present, and that this is something that we can really rejoice in, something wonderful, and really feel that, oh, today is the beginning of my genuine happiness. Really, this is the day in which the real, true happiness begins.
What is compassion? What is it? What is it? And then what Yala to mention that what is it?
And again, there's the offering of the 7-limb practice and the mandala at this point.
Tanda was a share exam data, Lama to Chawata, Rangichivo Commission, and Takaja was the thing as a Catolera. Yeah, what is it? Takaja. That is the Taka Kaze Jukasota, Juparapuri, should have a correct Cavalli and Hasco with the Cavalli star.
The Shokra, the Gatang and Gapching Gapdun, and Warne, also the nearby Nga, and also the Shentak, the teacher.
Yes, what that thing is a senior someone to win, that Duvala Taka Judge. That senior someone to Vala Yabanga to shake the Lukona. That Dicachita, because it robs the shoes about that thing is a second day. China Tumo did not get Casodata, Tumo Maniba Mari. Chivale, Nambali Shele, you take it, Nambali, you take it. How to the Hindu Chulu Mambuchilla, and Zen Chulu. Takaja comes from killing a Jorba. Java, Sumha, Sumeka comes from killing a Dilla, and that thing is a Judan Yori. Casana. The Devale Kere to make the Shaki Yorwata, come Komale Kevelata, Sunga, the Sume Kevala, thing as a dog Kevorwa. The thing as a document, and Tanozo, less of what's on the Pingu, that thing as in Komalatene, she then generally less of Savage go to one, until it come Komala get to it. You want to take it one. That is that it comes from killing it the la. Comes from killing it that Chulu Kangala, killing Chulu Kangala, that Yor Casa. The thing is in Yamet Yorta. That the day you buy Yinza, the day you buy Yinza, then Hindu Chuluta, Tangjambata, Ripachambata, what to get Chuluja, Hindu Kangamare. Tanja the Ripacha, Hindu Chulu toss things Sabe Tanjola, to the toss Pitaga Yutik, comes from killing it. What I get, and the Tagan Zen, and down in Namba, that you got too much chatter, too much chatter, that too much chatter. Inaya, that thing is the Mavaina. Mavaina, Dakaja, Salang Toba Kona called the pay to your money. That thing is she did not tell you go. How do the Janjuga Sem Kevalaya? Janjuga Sem Kevalaya? Thing is a manna, Jali, Matalaya, Shenetopura. Someday we should another ticket to Wayapura. Mushimena is Shene Matova, Sem Temple never. That was the same temple never. Sem Temple. You make a chicken and she did to Jenna and the Janju Sem Kegua. This she did to Jenna, Yanjum Kegua. Yanjum Kegua, that only to be Shara Tagarwa. Sem tempo chila, ten and Kegua. Tata was doing some Samotoso Kegor Lamja, Casa, the Shui Boat of Dua, Dawson, Melchadua, Melchadua. What that is about Sem Tempo Lamja, you are my thing, but they would there to which. That because I think it's a that is 땡에서 시월 개체 붙여기도 지다 타바다 탐제 켜봐 토발라 돈이 도베 셔라다 장주 세미니 거기를 할때 얘네 돈이 도베 셔라 장주 세미니 시대들라 셉템버스 거기도 하티 땡에서 거기도 조나 무시 마조네 마달에 신의 토바치 거기도 어떻게
Yes, so we have, to a large extent, covered most of this topic on the perfection of meditative concentration, and that we are looking into the 5 faults and then the 8 antidotes or adjustments that need to be made in relation to those 5 faults, and we have covered some of that as well. And just to recap a little bit about where the whole topic of meditation and development of this particular meditation of developing mental quiescence fits within spiritual traditions. And so it's said to be a common subject or a common practice. It's not uncommon because it's not just Buddhists who seek to develop this level of concentration, but also those some of the Hindu groups and also in the Jain tradition also have teachings in relation to this. So basically, it's said that those who accept 3 realms of existence also have instructions on how to develop such meditative concentrations. And that means then that brings in not just Buddhists, but also some of the Hindu groupings, and not all of them, those who have more refined tenet systems, and then the Jain traditions as well. And it's very, very important too that it's seen as an essential development, an essential practice, and that there is really no real progress through even these 3 realms without developing certain levels of meditative concentration. So moving from, for example, the desire realm into the form realm, or the form realm into the formless realm, again, it requires a very astute and very, very subtle levels of concentration. And that, again, moving through the paths and grounds, as we talk about it in Buddhism as well, is not possible without the basis of a really strong meditative concentration. Such as even developing, the mind of enlightenment or renunciation, that require a stable mind in order to be able to nurture and cultivate these mindsets. And otherwise, the mind is very much as described in the text like a bubble, easily bursting and into distraction. And so we need that basis. It's said that one can develop it to the point of a sort of knowing different clairvoyances, but at least to have this level of what's referred to as mental quiescence, and that is that really strong stability and clarity of concentration. That is a minimum for to be able to develop along the path.
아니 아까서다 라베 땡에서 라베시라 라바 수점스 다 라바스 다들라 아니 딘낭바게 다들 동이 도베 셰라그 심베团的 조국 여자 아니 좀 나베 잡아와.
Okay, so then, but in reference to, however, in all of this, one refers to the terminology when we talk about the higher trainings, refer to, say, higher trainings in ethical conduct, in concentration, in wisdom, and so on. And this is very much exclusive to Buddhism.
지다 수준 강간을 소화해요. 출루 강간을 수준 소화해요. 얘는 한번 수준 쓰기 말해. 그래서 탑에 수준 쓰도 아니 탑에 줄어 줘야지. 가서 돈이 또 왜 셔럽 쓰면 거기도 와. 한번 수준 쓰. 한번 땡했지. 한번 셔럽 쓰기도 한번 쓰지. 단지 갈라고서 그래서는 그래서도 코아서 많이 코알레 대베 냥대게 줄어 주면 거기도 와. 꼴 줘줘. 다 디시아도 아니 나베도 뭐 많이 맞춰주고 요래. 그래서 출루셔바 감각에 다가자제 강가다 민 동반이 라고 유명한 내주 로가를 때 이나야 유대는 맞잖아 매도도 삼삼겠다 가가 된대 다 남배겠다 다와들라다 유대는 좀 아니 교매겠지 때도 내게 좀 그래 다들 되게 말해서 다 투사대 대한 도바로 와 이제
And so, of course, all the different spiritual traditions have variations on ethics and concentration and even wisdom itself. But here, we're talking about the higher ethics or exalted ethics, concentration and wisdom, because here they are spoken about in the context of attaining liberation from cyclic existence, and therefore the ethical conducts that are engaged in are done so integrated with the meaning of emptiness and so on, and the concentration that is generated is done so within the meaning of being combined with emptiness as well. And that here, many of the other traditions speak in similar terms, using ethical conduct, meditation, emptiness even, but they are doing so with a different level of understanding. For example, when it comes to talking about a lack of objective existence, or describing phenomena as having no objective existence, this is something that can't be held by other traditions. They would then conclude that therefore this thing that is being spoken of is non-existent, and so they don't go that far. And so that lack of objective existence for them is synonymous with non-existence, and therefore that their terminology and their understanding and their use of terms of selflessness or emptiness mean something very different to what they do in Buddhism.
다 가이나면은 되게 다 그래서 땡에서 주변 걸로 다 가져제 가서 다 류기 차내이나 다 가서 다 가져 류나나 최된데서 왔다 슈다도 가서 바로 슈사래 아니 코메 값이 뭐이나다 미된들라다 땡에서 주변 미발라다 가이네 샤초그래 유일라 가이네 샤초그래 이나야 다 샤야 슈데다 산제 구코메 타고 구코메 다가네 시게는 다 셈라밍네 코메다 산제 구코메다 다들 요거 봐 아니 다가리시다 미다고 거에다 다 지금 자주 쌤 거에다 동반이 거에 가리로 좀 그러다 다 이나 당고도 다들 레당보아 시샤시온도 레당보시도 저 산제 구콘전 다 구콘에 가라 랑게 지고라 아니 라마 투안도 참 컴데도 라마 투안도 저거 투가래 외세 트네 아니 랑게 뒤인데라 랑게 뒤 민상게 태데라 아니 외세 트제네 아니 다 가서 랑전이 바치 내 삼라다 아니 내 중나 아니 고데 가서다 세마체치 되네 대야 다 도시 다 중나 가서 충중야가 돼 맞으네 아니 태부잡 되네 가서 맞아 토칸세치 다 가자 어디네 지금 민네 아니 거비체 어디 대야 아니 그다 다 가자 지금 가서다 꼴에 죽음 자지 차례 꼴에 죽음 몸을 도졌어 안 안다 와다 몸을 도져 다 가자 다 되게 있잖아 다 예산의 연장자가 된 뒤자가 통선나 봐다 가자 즉 가서 굳이 아니 지딩딩 왜 저리 쇼겠지 와다 되게 좀 공부하셔 와다 되게 안디야 꾸피게 두 삼삼 많이 받잖아 되게 굳이 다 되게 와다 민자 텔 되게 아니 되게 굳이 아니 랑게 이라 나와다가 가라 셈 샤야레면도 심 가야지만 나와다가 갈 셈인데 샤잖아 안데 뭐 야, 또 가야 상담하다. 나와 다가랑 갈 안셈 가서 내 투두제. what did it
So, the development of meditative concentration, we have dealt with how then the place that we should try to find in order to engage in this practice, having specific characteristics and so on. And the body, and indeed how the body should be held when doing so. And that the objects that we can choose in order to focus our meditation. And so it said that in the text it talks about one can use any objects, but here it's saying describing two that are very much the best. And one is the body of the Buddha, and the other is the mind itself as the object of our meditative concentration. And of course, one can use also topics of impermanence, the mind of enlightenment, or emptiness itself. But as beginners, it's very good to use the body of the Buddha, for example. And that this begins with, of course, reminding ourselves that we have a Guru Manindra Vajradhara on our crown, and that light emanates from there, setting up a replica of Guru Manindra Vajradhara in the space in front, and that we try to make that as small as possible, if as small as a pea, if not then just a thumb, or if not then just this width of the span of the hand, and that image that we are giving rise to is both weighty but also in the nature of light, and that it is essential that we don't think of it as being out there, but as something that is arising in our mind. And it's just that image of the Buddha that arises in our mind that we focus on, and absolutely nothing else. That's all that we're interested in, just that single focus on that image arising in the mind.
나와 다가랑 갈습자 다가자 랑게 지금 가서도 다다데 가서도 다다데 가서도 다다 옹셰게 되돌아 도나 마테 받치네 다데 와제 나한테서 도와데 고데서 되로 도나 자원이나 마테 받치네 빠페 이셰 코랑게 습관데 되게 그가 다가자 지금 가서도 지금 이셰를 마테네 디스로션 중소 삼사잖아 가자다 되게 도나 자원이나 메다 다디가가 아니 공기 계획지거 봐 되게 공기 계획지거 되게 그가 마 지금 마 바라니네 되게 나와 촌도 마셔왔잖아 되게想와도 마다왔잖아 마다왔잖아 근데 다가자 저 나와 다가라 갈셈샤 야 야마 가서데 당고지 규르부대 대투고 말와 계속 대투고 무슨 이내 규르부 대마도 왔대 당가라서 검식 온 거다 이내다 랑다 대박이 야 로라 차왔잖아 야 로라 차왔잖아 왔다 다가자 다 공자도 다 개치주도 제바도谢谢你的다 잘하체네 아니 고믹대다가 가서 셈내 봐줘 믹대다가 가서 셈내 봐줘 어때됐네 안 됐네 또 봐줘 다 당고 저 차서와 피다고 맞아와 있나야 지금 된지소라 차와 다가랑 가라 간투도 내답제 간투도 내답제 야 저런데고도 야 초사 집장제다 지금 디바다 디바자다제 야 세답제 야 셈내답제 야 초사 집장제 야우 우디 가서다 가자 가서다 지금 랑게 남도 녀바디가 된 우이다 이런다고 지까지 맞다 안지를 야도 아니 지금 산지가 지랍답제 야 중서데 왜세 저러다 남도 녀바다가 시와 중서 상상 와데 고마시에 전다 이제 루고둘라 소바데 제네 어때서 야 셈내답제 어때서 야 치와미다 맞다고 거 가자 셈내라 다 아니 대조가 니가 다 되게도 거 근데 셈들 가자 셈들 내답제 셈바다 토만도야 예 야나 지금 지원마 가서다 거바다 지원마 게 티체 아니 지금 야 소소소도 좋아하게 안 대조를 된다 다 가자 대바 산지를 쳐다 제와다 다들 베스트 우지 개와서 뭐 중앙에 저 삼러시다 야 바르바르 어때서 가자 다 탑시 나서 제네 다셈 초조하들 수두다 미바들 간투도 내답지에게 아니 제가 지금 셈도스 마저고도나 야 대조를 된다 되듯이 야 셈도스 마 가서다 초조고도나 야 치와미다 받아 되게 거면 수삼부터 마 수두답지 어때서 다 가자 탑시 제네 어때서 다 가자 셈 초보조에 돌아 어때서 배 나오시다 지금 니금 숨고다 거기 어다가래 하고도 욕마셔왔잖아 모두네 되는데 튜뉴뉴제 검데 살만 보지 제마 보면은 좋아게 요진데 저다 갈리 저거 라라다 조르와 라다 조르와 어때지 이살다 그 레서 갈 양이 가야 하마시기도 할수
So what's really important is that we are concentrating on using the mental sense here, mental sense power, to give rise to that image of the Buddha in our minds, and that's something that we are absolutely determined to just focus on, to the exclusion of all else. This means especially we no longer pay attention to the senses and the information coming in from the senses as much as possible. And so we bring our attention only inwards to really focus as closely as we can on and the image in our mental sense. And that because anything else is regarded as an obstacle to meditation. So here that we have this appearance arising in the mind. As beginners, of course, we will not be able to sustain proper focus on that image for a long time. And that, but we kind of have to understand that the process is one of very determined habituation, of bringing the mind back from distraction to the object again and again and again. And here, of course, the use of mindfulness and alertness are very essential, and that at the beginning as well, we'll understand that even the intensity of our focus and the quality of our focus will not be there at the beginning, but so always do our best as much as we possibly can. And our best will include, as part and parcel of our sitting and focusing, it will include the purification of negativity and the accumulation of positive merit as being an essential part, a fuel to our practice. And also to use the breathing exercise. We can do the 9-round breathing, of breathing in through the nostrils, breathing in the blessings and breathing out all obstacles and so on, to pacify the mind as a kind of a preliminary for us to really, first of all, pacify the mind and gain the blessing of what we are doing. And then during the process of generating concentration, we will come across the faults of mental sinking and mental excitement. And here again, we should know what to do when we recognize these. And that when, for example, the mind is sinking, and that we have this kind of a dullness in the mind, to brighten ourselves up, to reflect on a precious human rebirth and just how fortunate we are to be in this position, to even think about developing meditative concentration, and therefore to again bring our mind back, to intensify our focus. And then when we get distracted through mental excitement, to recognize that as soon as possible, and to bring the mind down a little through meditating on impermanence and death in the form of impermanence. And all of this is kind of like really something that we can only become good at through our own experience. And we need to find the balance of when to intensify our attention, when to loosen the attention, in order to really develop a very subtle and very good quality concentration. And that and to make sure that at the outset that we are aiming for quality over quantity of time, and that's very, very important. That even though our sessions should be short, that we are determined that they are really focused, and so we're really careful not to allow mental sinking and mental excitement to dominate that session. So that this is very, very important.
Pali tradition walking meditation la ba ye you so and u ta ye u la tu al ta u de mind sem sha that is a sem net of chela de to you gru what de chen ta ka sem ti ta ju on de ta ke de ta ji de you gru what de what ta ka de ta ka ge chi ta bu de sem de on de tu ye on de tu ye ta ka so so ge de chen on de tu to那你看的没有明照印象这个些两我的这我的这这什么对对的那的国罗就查查的那你把下呢这些中国话我那个是卡萨的说个娘娘了八节呢
And so in the Pali tradition of Buddhism also, you will find walking meditation, breathing meditation, being just an overall mindfulness with regard to, what you are doing. I'm using, left foot, left hand, right hand, and so on. And that this is all about remaining present in order to really pacify the mind. And this is what is really the outset of developing meditative concentration, is this sense of gaining control over the mind, over where you want to put the mind, or place the mind, or focus the mind. And that all of these preliminary activities like this are very good because they address the various dispositions of people who are interested in this. But ultimately, we have to choose an object and then settle on really trying to develop a mental quiescence based on that one object.
exercise sort of stage to jangba sort of stage ko mi ko de joy de ko rimba shi do je do ko mo to ko khane sheba ni yong che de mo to ka res ka sa ko ta so so nyam nyol pa che ta ko de ga sa ma che ba la thap yo ma ta ti the to la ta res chi mo to.
So initially, at the outset of any session, it is important to pacify the mind, to really bring the mind down so that it is at a peaceful kind of like a level. And that then one directs this now peaceful focus to what we wanted to focus on. And that this is very important, rather than just sitting down and saying, now I'm going to get right into it. So it's kind of important to kind of move into the process of attention and focus in a more gradual sense, a more tempered approach. And because we have to understand that in general, in the normal state of affairs, our mind is really quite active. It's like a hyperactive child, really. Now I'll sit down, now I'll stand up, or now I'll stand up. Now the hand goes left, right, I want to look left and right. It's a very active body or element, and so it's very, very important that we take a gradual approach to attention, and indeed a lot of what we settle on our own kind of modus operandi will come through only our own experience in this regard. What it is that will pacify me initially, in order for me to best be able to bring my attention to focus on the object of focus. And that this is something that comes through experience best of all. But it's all underpinned by a sense of it being absolutely necessary for me to develop meditative concentration, saying I really can't progress until I have a level of meditative concentration.
And so I tell you, a day with the Shinjancheta, to get the duck and jet, you then to get the toy, you then to get toy, and because a lelutma. Never check it out. Was not that Shuma do the thing that you did. Take a what is something that you're the, you then went at the Tonga Mary, so I give you Marwa. 좋아지고요 말이다. 내가 좀 겁답지고요 말이다. 그래서 대바라다 당에 대바 뭔데 대바 이지게 대바라서 다 되게 저거 연대 돈에 아니 대바디가 되겠네. 대바 될라 되네 아니 가서 되게서 좀 두바 아니 되게 저 준주 다 되게 준주 좀 도와 이나 거 뒤에 쏘나면 내가 인자 아니 간장소는 거 가서 저 아니 신장의 연구요 같아. 아니 거 신도 다 류신자의 셈신자에서 연구요 거 뒤에 다나 이제 셈ing 되게 연구 말아. 검나 다 되게 검에 대해 거 가서 다 검데 배주 맞으려 연구 말해. 배주 제발래 되게 두바 거래. 되게 두바를 되게 저거 다 연대도에 대박고 다 되게 연대 되게 갈아 간사무 소송 내봤냐나 맞아래 자저 바 죽주 된주지 오 연대대 통하나 안고 대마도가 소중으로 와 대마도가 소중으로 와 다른 거저 되게 야고래 거기도 매다 매버샤다 카기 앉아 셔 대마도 셈 딩네 랑도 빙 예바 잡았지 로다 가 니마 저 나베세가 와 가서데 로다 가서데 디셰가 와 가서데 그거를 셔럽들 숨쉬고 봐 저쪽에 셔럽 삼쪽에 셔럽 검쪽에 셔럽 쓰겠지 셔럽 숨 요것도 왔다 가자 다디 어다 검에 야구래서 다 저쪽에 셔럽 잡도 가서 열에 어떻게 야구래 스티커서 현도고 인상 것도 셔럽 편도고 보도 다 양의 양도 삼로다 다디 막고나 탐내도 삼사제 랑도 그게 봐 잡아 주나 다 가자 가서 삼중의 셔럽지 깨봐이나 때문에 된가서 배주지 그래 다들 것도 삼중의 셔럽도 맞게 봐 인상이 요거도 와 요거 말해 어때 다 되게 간 것도 양의 양도 삼로다는 하고바 잡을 참 마셔 왔잖아 하고바디 현도 그래 다디 양의 양도 삼로다 랑도가 하고바 토이 소이죠 다 맞잖아 탐면 선에 다들 배주지 거지 어디 거도 배주지 거보다 어디래
So we're looking at then the faults that arise when trying to develop meditative concentration, and these 5 faults begin with laziness, and that laziness is such a strong fault that it takes 4 of the different antidotes or adjustments to counteract it, and they all really center around really gaining conviction in that really leads to enthusiasm on our part for that counteracts the laziness. And so one is a faith that in seeing the good qualities of meditative concentration. Another is then from that faith a yearning, an aspiration to really gain that meditative concentration. And the third is the kind of a diligence, an effort in persevering to gain meditative concentration. And the fourth is like a result where you see actually that at the end of all this effort will be this mental and physical pliancy. And it's combining all those 4 so that you really see the good qualities of the results of meditative concentration, like to have this incredible control over mind and body, such that you feel this mental and physical pliancy. And that this then is built on that effort, that diligence, that is the third of the antidotes here. And that effort must be informed by this sense of a yearning, wishing for to that meditative concentration or those states. And that in turn comes from faith, that all underpinning a sense of deep, heartfelt conviction, and that will keep our enthusiasm going in order to persevere. And so this is very, very important at the outset, and that we may have an understanding of meditative concentration, we may hear about the positive qualities of it, etc., and think it's something very, very good, and therefore we would like to generate it. But a lot of that is coming from just paying lip service to this subject matter. And we need to develop somehow this heartfelt conviction, and that here it brings back to discussing in the graduated path the different kinds of wisdom, and the wisdom arising from learning, the wisdom arising from contemplation, and the wisdom arising from meditation. And so here, even though the first of these, the wisdom arising from learning, is very useful, This is like, really assimilating the raw data of the Dharma. And that's something very helpful. But ultimately, we have to move beyond that, because that's just kind of surface level knowledge. And here we need to bring that into analysis and to think about it again and again. And in other words, to make it our own. This is so important. And this arises through the second of these wisdoms, the wisdom arising from contemplation, because we have put that data to the test of analysis. And then whatever comes out of that, we can feel that it's something self-won, or we have come to a conclusion that we really can invest in, that we really feel for ourselves. And in the same way, when it comes to generating meditative concentration, it's something that we have to know for ourselves is essential to us. And so therefore, we're willing to, say, overcome the laziness through applying these 4 antidotes and to make them really work for us.
대외에서 냠내 제베서 다가서 내가 저도 다 당마 제바도 고요라 다 지다 대외에서 좀 배체해서 그래서 고소다 오래 다 대외에서 다 대외에서 좀 배체해서 당마 제바데 다 내가 제거 내가 입에 뒤 내보데 아니 제바 다 밑에 그래지 말이야 근데 유대 아니 제베 수와체 제베 제발 차 제베 수와체 그래서 다 제베 그래서 다 가자 원다다 제바데야 미데라 마제바 지베 미데 마제바 제네 미데들 요가 좀 초고 말했어 세 미데라 세제도 민네 아니 리바 나다 데바다 세 미발라 세제도 네바 저거 맞아 네바데 나다 데바 니바다 데바제 그 동보제는 내도야지 나다 데또 제베 셔라 담쟁에 와다 데바 오체 가자다 미바 마제바자 미바 코라 네바 잘로 지금 이제 전 미바 내가 좀 많이 봤잖아. 다 미바 내가 때 하다 때 봐. 동사 때 보잖아. 가서 프레시 그래 가서 왔다. 어떤 좀 보잖아. 내가 또 왔지. 밑에도. 이제 뒤면에 야 지와게 니가 요 봐. 미바 내가 가실래요? 지와게 니가 요. 다들 지와게 맞게. 야는 가서도 다 가서도 고바야 맞죠 맞잖아. 봤다. 친구니 배 가서도 니가 그 교회다 전에 둘이 내도 수다마치 내도지 왔다 때려서 고고 요러 하거든.
And so this deals with the first of these faults, and then the second is when we're engaged in trying to develop meditative concentration, we can have the fault of forgetting the instruction. And that, essentially here is saying that the antidote to this is mindfulness itself. And that here, mindfulness is not simply about just keeping a focus on or not forgetting the object. It's not simply not forgetting the object, but rather that it is a single-pointed focus on the object, which is applied with intensity, so that we have clear awareness and sharp insight into the object. So there's a bit more to it here than just not forgetting the object. Here we are aware of the object with sense of lucidity and clarity and stability, so that such faults as mental sinking and mental excitement are no longer part of what's going on. They are being dealt with, and so that we have this really stable, clear stability with regard to our focus on the object.
차다 저도 아니 검다 지원이도 투에니가 좀 보여. 다들 그 냠뇽 때문에 다가 지금 내줘봐 소소소 냠내 지금 소소소 배 냠뇽도나 지금 가서 지금 제시에 약고 마소와 이바이나 이바가라 내가 가실라 아니 지금 나셔 배 되게 좀 내도 아니 가자서나 아니 지원 참고게 내전 아니 검다 지원 참고니 넣어전 아니 가자서 소소 내가 제 개요 삼사 제와 있나요? 어떤 내가도 개요 삼사 제와 있나요? 아 미베 톰스시 차이지. 미 가서다 쇼고지 내가 제스도 미베 통보다 아니 가서도 제마트도 세부 차야다. 그 누가 쇼쇼 거요. 얘네 정확하게 사대도 아니 저기 아니 좀 미도 톰스시 차이. 다들 그 정확하다 곰 노르제네. 어떤 내가 내저 망볼 연구 있어요. 다들서 퇴바 뿌다 보잖아. 예수 뿌다 보 마시마 이나. 공부 조단도 뿌다 보 마시마 이나. 간sam스는 곰다 지완 통문이 노르제다. 미스 톨라도 그 망보 요되게 요래. 소소 삼바 곰 자고요 삼사자 이 지완 사체네. 지완 사대 되죠.
So this being able to understand what the nature of the objects on which we are focused should be, and that the understanding of the qualities of focus that we need to have to be able to maintain our focus on the objects is very, very important. Like for example, there's a great deal of talk about mental sinking and mental excitement in relation to developing mental quiescence, and that there are various levels of this. The coarse levels of mental sinking and excitement are quite easy to spot, and therefore we can apply antidotes to eradicate them. But as, for example, with mental sinking, as it gets more and more subtle, it's very easy to mix up what we think is good meditation with what is actually mental sinking. And this can be quite debilitating to our developing mental quiescence. So it's very, very important that we develop the qualities of mindfulness and alertness to a great level of skillfulness in order to be able to spot even very subtle sinking. Because if we can get to a point with subtle sinking to the point where we think we are focused on the object, but we are simply kind of spaced out, and we have lost that sense of clarity and lucidity with regard to our focus. And that is a key focus, a key attribute of proper meditative concentration, and both the clarity, the lucidity, the stability with regard to which we hold the object. And so it's sad to say that many meditators who haven't got the necessary skills in mindfulness and alertness to be able to see subtle mental sinking, that they continue thinking that they are developing meditative concentration when they are simply wasting their time and just developing more and more mental sinking.
근데 가져서는 레바디 톰스세 삼로 샘데 톰스세 차에다. 중국 매개 차에다.
And also it leads to a certain sort of that spaced out sense of meditation leads to a sort of dullness and confusion and a kind of a zombie-like result in the mind.
어디를 자고 어디를 다가제 어디 되네 이번에 자고 조다 차상 야고 싶지. 아니 상도도 다 지와 마그 지와다 고바다 지와니데 마 차다 아니 건졌지게 차다 저도 아니 차다 타보데 아니 건졌 요구 유메데 아니 냠누고도는 워처 되지 다 좀하도 마이나 아니 가자서도 소소서만 고민이 된거 요때 아니 곰다 저기 다现在 천지 상황이 개마도 와저 바체로 다 내가 요바 인자 오다 쳐봐 도다 신에게 개치고 저러 근데 이마 인자 저러 뭐저 소데 쳐봐 매매 검전대 랑동 달아 잡아다서 다 도다 약고 좀 장바 맞제 게 아니 검 자가 잡아는 검전대 라바 돔돔 지금 달아 자기는 자두고 말아 봐 보다 랑동 달아 잡아다서 대자 쳐봐 타치 맞제 다 개치고 자두고 와 도다
So therefore it's essential that we understand thoroughly the process that's required for the development of meditative concentration before we enter into it, and that to be able to further spot the more subtle manifestations of mental sinking and mental excitement, and then and how to actually deal with them as well when we have spotted them. And this comes from the knowledge that we gain and through our own experience. And so having a full understanding of the knowledge of all the aspects of what it brings about meditative concentration is extremely important. And that, as Lama Tsongkhapa has said, that proceeding without knowledge is like somebody trying to climb a craggy cliff without hands, and that so it's absolutely essential to know everything about the subject that you are entering into, and then proceed then using all that knowledge combined with your own experience as you go. So therefore, it's that combination of the knowledge of what exactly we have to do, together with then the experience we accumulate along the way, and that this then is what as we go along, what aspects that we need to take up and what aspects we need to abandon, and that the yogi's job really to be able to apply the knowledge that he or she has gained based on their own experience. And this is combined, of course, with the practices of accumulation of merit and the purification of negativity, and also the strong respect for and adherence to the specific instructions from a guru. All of this is very important.
yana jingwa chu yana goba chu ye roda o da re da jingwe ni da nyeba chati yora da nyeba chati yore nyeba yo da di nyebo de la da gobe se da ka jingwe ni jungwa yina yana jingwa de goba jungwa yina da nyeba chati yore da di nyebo de la da sheshe ge jara chen da jingwe jungma jungge da ka sheshe ge jara chen da ngocho ba chen roda o de chen da sheshen ge jingwe jung me jong leba ta ne ane ta leba ta on de lo ra ge anda jingwe jungwa zama ta jingwe yongye ge ji kaso da so de jingwe yongye ge ta da do so jung on de ne lam jang an jingwe ma yo che tu on ne ane ding ta jungwa ta do ma da ta jingwe jung ne gyur bu ma bo wa ane de kaso jingwe ta ka che tu chue che do ta bo tu che che wo de ta 가서 다 가자 가서 시행을 잘하지는 마탈에 되고 그래서 어디 수고요 어디죠
And so, yes, the faults of laziness and of forgetting the instruction. And then the third of these faults is when we're engaged in the equipoise and meditative concentration, the faults of mental sinking and mental excitement can be very prevalent. And these are taken as one. And the antidote to them is the alertness that is able to engage into a thorough examination of whether mental sinking or excitement has arisen or not. And this is the job of that alertness. It's kind of a guard or somebody who looks out for whether something has arisen or not. And it's saying that those who are more skillful, most skillful at this, can spot whether or not mental sinking or excitement has arisen at the very beginning, at the very outset of it, merely suspecting it, and therefore they can apply antidotes straight away. Those of middling skill can spot it as soon as it has arisen, and those who are less skillful will spot it, but it will have arisen already, and then they won't allow it to abide very long before applying the antidote. But there's kind of three levels at which the skill levels determining how one deals with mental sinking and excitement.
다들 다들 가서 시행의 자라 제서 다들 뭐좀 검 주고 막 다들 검을 쓰고 요데 뭐저게 다 가서데 가서다 제 냠내 지금 것도 이네 배나 소소게 저거 최다 투바 체크 최다 투바 아니 좀 지금 뭐도 봐 이런 것도나 고좀 되네 남자 까도 봐지 아니 디카마도 봐 이나야 아니 디카마도 봐 이나야 아니 소마타도 까도 봐 되네 귀를 뭐 말로 봐 배는 어서 콘도 사야 이네 다 가림바 이네 너무 콘도 중로 정도네 까도에 너무 시시게 자라져 다 콘도 용도 셈도스 마데시시 창모데 배는 직녀 마셔가지 대도네 알람자 오다 삽사지고렸어 까도 봐지 아니 디카마도는 아니 콘도 사와다 까도 봐지 되는 말도 귀를 못 봐. 딱 가셔 번 로마 분야기도 되게 말을 중에 딱배 까마하셔 나로네 아니 남자什么검토 받지지 다가저 단단하고 딜레 검라 작을 때 이내 가서 니샤出去了 그 뒤이네 제마다 시행스인데 그 뒤이네 검 주고 계자 말해 그 뒤이네 봐야죠.
So it's worth pointing out that these qualities, these of mindfulness and alertness, are here, of course, described in the context of developing meditative concentration. But they are to be applied at all times, in all aspects of life, and the more we become proficient with them, is the more we can lead the straight and narrow path that is in harmony with the Dharma. And it's very, very important, I think, to take this on board, to see this as something that we can integrate into every aspect of our lives, and that here at all times, whatever practice we are doing, we have to be aware. For example, if anger is an issue, then we have heard some maybe negative words, unpleasant speech, and that we feel a sense of the beginnings of uneasiness in the mind, at the chest, and that here we have to the mindfulness and the alertness to point out, oh, this is a sign that anger could be on the way, and therefore I will be able to do something about that, pacify that straight away, and that to use that to again the same levels of skill are involved. That somebody who can sense that uneasiness and that it never gets to the point where it's full-blown anger. Others will be able to do something as soon as the anger arises, and then others who will get angry, but hopefully will be able to deal with it within at least a few minutes and be able to overcome it. But the key point is that these qualities of mindfulness and alertness are so beneficial in all aspects of life. So we leave it there for leave it at that for today. And as busy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what did it say? That was a bamboo that brought over the that Martin Geshe Java the count to a similar pembachi was in the Bezuchita, several pembachi Bezuch, and also the Chigasani money got soy the coach was Chanua, was a young one coach was Chanua, what was a Bezu Church. What to put the water the outside Geshe is going to teach.
So I realize again I haven't covered much of the text, but I think what is always key in these talks on Sunday, in order really to make them really meaningful for us, is that we go away with something of what is really beneficial for the mind, to emphasize that what we can carry out with this and what we can apply after this, and what is really beneficial to the mind. I think that is important. It's easy to go through the text very quickly, but that doesn't hold much meaning. And so it's very important.
That do said that again. That better than traders because of the media said that the media there said that here and run it to Lamatuan Dodger party. And running in the Pemata, the Gishi was to saw you what it running in the same day, some copy and in the Pemata Jesu, some check, and then Nimanta, what are the day? Simply come to the Sadia Command to be saying Nadia, you didn't matter what Patas of just you didn't do some what did it doors come and deep and you making what you so some check. And then that you didn't matter what you may that simply come to great. You didn't do it, you are your marwa, simply Sanya your mare, and Lam come your mare, you didn't Lamba you didn't do that you didn't matter in that shut up the tenant. Then you get Dubayina, they will make it. Then there is a subject of the Sanja Coma to get a Scott Jumzeto. To it, then there is a subject of Sanja Coma to come to the chickens of the logical. Then they got lot and directing what you do so such. And in the letter, Rangi Chivola said that Lama to one to chanted, Lama Shaja Singit and Chant and Pandesa Lama, directing up to the condition of Kuzo to your Mutu Satus, Sundep Chen. And Rangi Chivona Tapena, some of the Woman mind, such a one journey, my journey, Tampicaso pet. And Nibecoso, and shoe. Shoe. What that Rangi Niga, shoe. Needed shoe, that need use shoe. Shoe ne Anita, and Subecaso, then to Shunata, San Diego compound, Matogo Patota, Rangi Ningu Usune, and that Kamate. Yes, some such a car what it is. But any ranking need my interest, my soon, and Pamata did my interest on the union net on the net, and then a logic of saying of a cherry interest and cutting the change. What it is conversion. Then that ranking use on Lama Shaja singing cooler, reception, ranking Chibone, Cantiga Parker, and that's all Zayta, that look at Zay Natajal, and we say Chamne. We say ranking Chibone Cantiga, but we say Chamne. We say Chamne, that ranking Lu Conasa, Ngai Conasa, Yi Conasa, and Diba the Diba, and Taganishan Rangi Toba the Tamsi Kill and the Yabala Soma, the Pache Kandita, the Dig and Land Yabasana, Kanga, said Tarima, Sengama Dingo, Toma Mabana Saba, Kariba, the Junction, Tapachaso, the Yapo Shuchunso. What is it? And Taganishan and Rangi Chutube KJ, and Luma Devala Soma, Kanga Kariba, Tigatam, Shiva Chunso. Sometimes. And I look at Joashi Kumani Batalyon, Kuyabucha, Za, Long, Tiglet, and Yamjachiba. The girl Chabatalion, together Yasuni. That's the one less of my Yabushi Chasu. Hacker to that new to Sandia Comatova, Tamek Nashi, Kirchishit, that Tamek Nashi, Girl Kanga, never Chan Kanata, Tabaram Japashi, the Chatu Yabushi, so the Kawako.
So now again we bring our attention to the object that we have established in the space in front and bring that back to the Guru Muninja Vajradhara on our crown from whence it emanated. And then to establish again at our heart center a lotus sun and moon diska mandala seat, and again to combine the symbolism with the meaning behind the symbolism, so that again we're contemplating on renunciation and the understanding of cyclic existence in all its suffering, and the desire to attain liberation from that renunciation, establishing from that then the lotus seat, and then contemplating on the one who's wanting to attain that liberation as being one who is lacking any objective existence and is merely imputed by thought to bring forth the wisdom which is symbolized by the sun, and that the understanding behind the lack of objective existence, meaning that therefore everything else is possible. It's possible, for example, to really fulfill the purpose of all other sentient beings, and that the concept of wanting to attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings then being symbolized by the moon disk and the bodhicitta mind. And then we have this sense of the confidence to engage in all of this visualization, because we have the understanding of the meaning behind it as well. And so then we have something much more meaningful to invite the Guru Muninja Vajradhara to sit at. And so again we recite the invocation verse of glorious and precious root Guru, come take your lotus and moon seed placed here at my heart. Keep me safe in your kindness. Bestow on me the attainments of your body, speech and mind. At the end of which of the first recitation, the figure on our crown moves down through our central channel. At the end of the second recitation arrives at our seat, and at the end of the third recitation we have the certainty of their remaining steadfast until we attain the state of enlightenment itself. So we have this knowledge of the Buddha being with us, and that's something that we gain joy from and confidence in. And then the lotus petals fold over the central figure, and they are sealed at the tips by a five-pronged white vajra, and surrounded by the mantras of the main mantra of Shakyamuni Buddha, the mantra of wisdom, and the mantra of dependent origination. And then from within the enfolded lotus leaves, then light rays emanate from the figure of Guru Muninja Vajradhara, and they permeate through the lotus leaves, and indeed they permeate through every aspect of every cell of our bodies, from the crown of our heads to the soles of our feet. And that in doing so, and they begin the process of purification of all the negativities that we have accumulated through body, speech and mind, all the vows that we have broken, all the pledges that have degenerated, and not just in this life but in previous lives, right back to the beginning of this time, and that all of these are purified completely, and all of the obstacles to our engaging in perfect dharma, such as illness and sickness and so on, they are eradicated, and that all of the elements within our body are balanced, as are the channels, winds and drops. Any faults there are eradicated, and that we also eradicate the main obstacle to our quickly being able to attain enlightenment, which is this sense of seeing everything through ordinary appearance. We overcome that fault, and now are able to regard everything through pure appearance.
what the later rank should not look the Yelanga, Lama Shajas and the good Hiji so the Lama Shajas and Kulutus. Rank should not have sent the Yelanga, Lama Shajas and the two the Hiji so said the Lama Shajas and the Tula Josos. Rangi Lunga is of the Lama Shajas and the Kusunto, war image Chasu, some such. And then near the Yaneg, Kion Tabja, Jen, Lama and Tuan Dochan and Share House Josos. Ran Lama Tuan Dochan, Kulitu, Tugale, and Simchek and Tandan will say trainer. We said we said the data subject Rana Soso Tibalate, the data Tamja, Lama Shajas and Kulitu, some such. Near the data, and because of Del Kion Tanas, Lama Shajas and the Share Country Josos. That rang subject Tamja touch was Sanjay Kumar to be Junior, that subject Tamja Sanjay Kumar Kuki said Nima Terrico to so Kahoko, honey, or Kahoko, and then subject Tamjeta, Sanjay Salakova. Teacher the Suzuki or Tuba. To go so the Chavaka, you didn't do something about Toma Parta something. And did they wanted. They were Tomate. They told me she just some Kahoko.
So then through the combination of my own most subtle wind with the body of the Buddha, my own body is transformed into the enlightened body of the Buddha. And through the combination of my own more subtle mind acting as the substantial cause, together with the mind of the Buddha acting as the cooperative conditions, my own mind is transformed into the enlightened mind of a Buddha. And so I see myself then as completely transformed, and all of my body, speech, and mind now are indivisible from the body, speech, and mind of a Buddha. And then from myself now as a fully enlightened being, I send out light rays equal in number to all of the countless number of sentient beings in all the 6 realms of existence. And the light rays simply dissolving into those beings, they are automatically transformed into fully enlightened beings. And the place in which they are is completely eradicated, or really cleansed of all fault, and it transforms into the palatial mansion of an enlightened being. And that today is something that I can really rejoice in, that really being able to fulfill the purpose of leading all sentient beings to that state of existence. This is wonderful. I also understand that the state of enlightenment itself, and that the virtue of leading all sentient beings to that state, and myself, the agent, the one involved in doing so, completely lacking of any objective existence, and are merely imputed by thought. And from that then arises a bliss that combines with voidness, and I abide in the wisdom of non-dual bliss and voidness.
Dewa Junata, Tunga Junata, Kadit, Neta, Kadit Chavaina, Santa, Kadit Chavaina, Tony Niji will Lampula Makiva, give a corner condo player, Jura show, stop, watch it, And that, to lead all sentient beings to the state of enlightenment, I must, of course, arrive and attain that state myself. In order to do that, I must be able to develop that great compassion in the mind. And so I reaffirm that everything that happens in this life, whether it arises as happiness or as suffering, I will just be able to use it, to commandeer it, in order to really develop the compassion, the great compassion that I have not yet developed, and to allow the compassion that I have developed to be cultivated further and further. And I make that dedication to do that. So the Kevatia, Jajusa Majima Kevakon. So the Kemwa Chawate, Jajusa Keva the Majima contemplated culture. So the Nawa Joanna, the Jajusa Majima Keva Kwana. So the Shiva the Jajusa Majima Keva Kwana contemplated. Shenga so never Kevana, never Keva the Jajusa Majima Keva Kwana. Pantova in there, Jajusa Majima Keva Kwana. Taka Sang, Kadechua in my Jajusa Majima. Don't need Nimuja Lampula Majima. 아니 깨봐이나 관에 관도 배워야겠다. 교류 좋아서 왔다디 소소비 target 왔다 근데 저 삼로다. 아니 다디 교류 저도 가지고 영화쇼 영화 다기 지금 대다 쟁가 봐. 아니 다 지금 겨와서도 제가 징길 랍도스 왔다 저 뭐지기나 아니 뭐서 미세데 미세 된다 돼 봐라. 왔다 저 왔다 저
And so it's really to be able to call on this aspiration in every aspect of life, whether I'm born, I get sick, die, or whatever arises in life, that I use that to be able to say, may I be able to develop the mind of enlightenment that I have not yet developed, and to the extent that I have developed that sense of mind of enlightenment, may it augment and flourish more and more and more. And that whether somebody harms me or whether someone benefits me, whatever the situation, I simply bring that to mind. May I be able to develop the mind of enlightenment that has not yet been developed, and may I be able to add to the sense of the mind of enlightenment or bodhicitta that I have for allowing it to flourish more and more and more. And to have an objective like that for ourselves, to really and to be able to engage with it in a very honest and conscientious way is wonderful. And then to dedicate merit on the basis of that, I think that makes for a very meaningful life.
nga kibo yong sho nga mana ba yong sho depend ba de ke jo nga na ba ine 자주 समाज ba kyo ko nga shi ba ine 자주 समाज ba kyo kibo chwa ine 자주 समाज ba kyo o teni ko kibo yong ro wa kibo yong ro.
So this is in contrast to may I be happy, may I be rich, and so on. These is totally contrasting aspirations to have, isn't it? May I, whether I'm sick, whether I'm old, whether I'm suffering illness and the debilitation, it doesn't matter. I dedicate it all to being able to cultivate the mind of enlightenment more and more and more. This makes for a much more meaningful life. And you get some little taste of what it really means to have the Mahayana aspiration, the Mahayana motivation. And then I'm a little Mahayanist, you can say. That's okay. Very beginning level. So let's leave it there and let's do our Lam Rim prayer. Lam Rim dedication prayer. From my two collections, vast as space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives from Geshe. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time by even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path raised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.
ma ge ba na ge gyuro ge ba nya ba me ba ya ko ne ko pe wa ra shu do ni da wa re bo che ma ge ba na ge gyuro je ge ba nya ba me ba ko ne ko do pe wa ra shu ka re ra we ko we shin ga ban de pen da de wa ma lu chu we je re se wa de zen ja zo ye sha be se de ba do de ju ro je oi mi oi me oi ze oi we oi de oi je je re oi se de oi me oi de oi me oi wo bo ja me ya Kai jiai kiai mei su jian song kai ba lo san zai bie xiao lo so wan de mei ze oi mei de oi mei ze oi de oi mei ke oi mei wo mo Gai je ke de su je so gai ba lo sa dai bie sha la so wan de me oi ze oi me oi de oi je re oi ze de oi me oi ge oi me oi wo mo ja me ya oi je oi ge oi me su je so ga ba lo san zai bie xiao la so
You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of compassion, loving and true existence, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hordes of demons without exception, Sankapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Losam Drakpa, at your feet I make requests.
Oh, no, touch it, thank you.